Hey, what's going on, Math Nation? Mr. Cornell here to go over some more intersecting chords, secants, and tangents, except now we're going to figure out some physical lengths of those created segments. And in the last video, we looked at some angles, so it's similar concepts, but now we're going to actually start figuring out lengths of those segments. So there are three types that we're going to take a look at today, and they're all going to, or two of them are going to be following the same pattern. So the first one, the easiest one, is the intersecting chords, because it's easy to see everybody's right inside. So when these two chords intersected, they created two sections here. So here it created A and B, and there it created C and D. When we start running into some examples, those are going to be some numbers or expressions. All you're going to do is multiply them. So here, we're just going to multiply A with B, and that's going to be the same as multiplying C times D. So you just multiply, you got your answer. All right, now here, these two is when it becomes a little bit long, but again, just watch how I do it, and you're going to do every single problem the same way. So when these two segments intersected, they're secants because they hit in two spots, they created an angle outside, okay? Now, when they did that, there's this segment here, which is outside, and then there's this segment here, which is inside. There's this segment here that's outside, and this segment here that's inside. All you're going to do is you're going to take the outside segment and multiply it by the whole thing. And then that's equal to the outside segment multiplied by the whole thing. So think of type 2 and type 3 as outside times the whole thing. And then that's equal to the outside times the whole thing. Watch. Outside is A. Multiply that by the whole thing, which is A and B together. Do the same for the other guy. Outside, which is C, multiplied by the whole thing, which is C and D. There you go. That's your formula. Now, take that formula and translate that to type 3. A little bit different because, well, you say, oh, there were two. Well, again, same thing. Outside is A multiplied by the whole thing, which is just A. So you're just doing A times A. Outside here, which is B, multiplied by the whole thing, which in this case is B and C. So this side, okay, there's only one section, and that's the whole thing, so it's just itself twice. Outside times the whole thing. So those are the three concepts we're going to look at. If you want, try to give it a pause and try those, 6 examples down there and see how far you can get. All right, so number 1, two chords. This got cut into X and a 10. This got cut into a 14 and a 15. So I'm just going to do 10 times X, or X times 10, equals 14 times 15. 10 times X is 10X. 14 times 15 is 210. Divide by 10. This distance here is 21. So 21 times 10 is the same as 14 times 15. Same thing here. Got cut into 6 and 6. So I'll do 6 times 6. Gets cut into 4 and 5x minus 1. So I'm going to do 4 times 5x minus 1. But again, don't get tricked, because 5x minus 1 should go into parentheses because you have to multiply it by the whole thing. So 6 times 6 is 36. That's going to be 20x minus 4 after the distributive property. Move that 4 to the other side. Divide by 20, and you get 2. All right, now, question said find BD. So 5 times 2 minus 1 is 9, and 9 plus 4 is 13. So there's your two questions with intersecting chords. Now let's go to those other questions here, where you have intersecting outside. So let's try to do that concept I said before. Outside times the whole thing equals outside times the whole thing. Outside times the whole thing is 8 and 19. The outside times the whole thing, which is 9 and x. Now let's just do some math. 8 plus 19 is 27. Distribute 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times x is 9x. 8 times 27 is 216. Move this to the other side. That's going to be, what is that, 135. Divide by 9, and you get 15. Okay? Try 4. Outside times whole thing. See if you can get it. Outside times this plus this. Outside times this plus this. So what do we have? 8 times 8 plus 3x plus 4 equals 7 times 7 plus 5x plus 2. Outside times the whole thing. 8 times 8 plus 4 is 12. 7 times 5x, 7 plus 2 is 9. What is this going to be? We're going to have 24x plus 96, because I'm multiplying that. Multiplying that over here. 35x plus 63 over there. Move the x's to one side, the numbers to the other side. We're going to get 33 equals 11x. So you're going to get x equals 3. All right, so hopefully this is all helping. Pause. Try 5. Outside times the whole thing. Outside times the whole thing. So that's going to be 24 times 24. 18 times 18 plus x. 24 times 24 is 576. 18 times 18 is 324 plus 18x. Okay, again, 18 times 18 is 324. 18 times x. Subtract your 324 from both sides. You're going to end up with 252. And your final answer is going to be 14. All right, so there you go. So that's kind of your basic questions on those intersecting secants, chords, tangents, okay, whatever the case might be, and finding their actual lengths. So we're going to try number 6 right here. It's that easier one with a twist to it. All right. 12 times 10, x plus 6 times x minus 1. So we're going to have 12 times 10, which is 12 times 10. Then we're going to have x plus 6 times x minus 1. But again, like we did on all those other ones, this has to go like this, right? 12 times 10 is 120. Now we're going to be doing the distributive property twice. X times x, x squared. X times negative 1, negative 1x. 6 times x, 6x. 6 times negative 1, negative 6. Combine my like terms, I'm going to get an x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, this is why this one's got a little wrinkle to it, because there's an x squared, so we're going to be doing some factoring. We're going to move this 120 to the other side, because whenever we want to factor, the equation must equal 0. Okay, so it depends on how you want to go about this. You can always just throw it into your calculator. Look at that quadratic function and determine your 2 zeros either from a graph or from looking at the table and finding where the zeros are in the y. That's doing it. That's cheating. Easiest way you can do it. Figure out what your 2 solutions are and then circle the one you're going to use. If you don't have that, then you need to figure out what are 2 numbers that multiply to equal 126 and that will subtract to equal 5. Okay, that's what you're going to do if you're doing it by hand. Okay, so again, what are 2 numbers that multiply for 126 and then will subtract to equal 5? And that's going to be 14 times 9, and they have to be a positive 5, so it's positive 14 minus 9. So then your 2 solutions here are going to be x equals negative 14 and x equals positive 9. Now the length, okay, these are lengths, you have to measure them, so you're not going to be using the negative value, you're going to be using your positive value for x, which is 9. Okay, hope this helps. Hope you were able to learn something here today. like, comment, subscribe, whatever, to make me more famous, or I don't know, whatever this YouTube life does.